Hello everyone. So let's continue our series of videos on creating customized exams. So far, we have come a very long way. We have, let me show you on sample PDF. So we have so far generated the heading for the exam. Then we have created sections that is in a random order. And under these sections, we have created one question which is common to all. Okay, so that so far we have done up till there. Next, now I want to parameterize this question. Okay, so what do I mean by parameterizing this question? So I just go to the question text. Okay, so remember again, this question text was in a separate dedicated file. So let me open that file. Before I do that, let me clear all the previous files. So one, so all the three text files and three PDF files I'll delete. Okay. And in the question bank, there was one question DCR. Okay, so I'll just open it. And I want to parameterize this question. That means I want to remove the numericals and introduce some parameters. Okay, so this is not our this thing. Yeah, this is the file. So instead of this 28, okay, what is the question? Let's look at the question. Now we are going into electrical engineering subject. So one, two, and 3 and 4 resistors are there. Okay, so 28 and 14 are in parallel. This combination in turn connected in series with a value of 6 ohms. Further, this entire combination connected in parallel to another resistance of 11 ohms. So anyway, 4 resistances are there. So I will say dash dash R1 dash dash. Okay, so something like this. I'm just replacing with R1. And another parameter I want to do is R2, and another parameter instead of this value 6, I'll replace with R3, and then finally here I'll replace with R4. So now I save this. Now if I go back and then execute my code without any changes, the earlier code which we were writing. So now I have executed this code. The first file is running. Now the second file is running. And third file. I think we had given only 3 files to be created. Okay. So let's see. So 3 PDFs you can see, 1, 2, and 3. So let's open the first PDF. I think it's still opening. So here now you can see the parameters, the numericals have been replaced with parameters R1, R2, R3, and R4. Now I want to bring in data from some other source and replace these parameters now. See, if I open another exam also, it has the same parameters like this R1, R2. So the R1 this exam should be different from R1 of the other exam. That's our objective right now. So we need another source to provide this data of this parameter. So how to do that? So let's go back to, okay, we need now Excel. Okay, so I'm just saying sheets dot new. Okay, so I'm opening a, either you can open Windows Excel or you can open a Google spreadsheet. Okay, so anything is fine. So now in this Google spreadsheet, I want to create some data. So let me increase the magnification and now what are the parameters? Okay, so so my parameters are R1, R2, R3, and R4. So let's center justify this. So these are my parameters. Now I want to create some ranges for these parameters. Okay, so the ranges are something like minimum value, maximum value, and number of steps or step size. Therefore, number of steps will be can be calculated. So, for example, see in this case, the R1 value I want to have minimum 20 ohms and maximum 30 ohms. Okay, so I'll say minimum is 20, maximum is 30, and step size of 1 ohm. Okay, so therefore, what will be the number of steps? It will be simply maximum value minus minimum value divided by number of the step size. Okay, so it will be 10 steps. Okay. If I say step size of 2, then I'll get 5 steps. And if I say step size of 3, I'll get some decimal steps. So that we want to avoid. So while designing the question itself, we will create. So, okay, let's leave it to 2. So what are the values that R1 can take? So for the values that R1 can take, I can say is equal to. So there is a function called rand. Okay, so if I say enter, so a random function will be created like this, a random value. This will be a random value between 0 and 1, a decimal value. Okay, so what I can do is I can take the minimum value, okay, and then I can say, or I think I can do one more thing. Instead of creating a decimal random, I'll say rand between. Rand between. So the minimum value is 0 and maximum value is number of steps. Okay, so here it is 0, it's coming. Once again, if I enter, so I think it is, let me once again enter. I am expecting a number between 0 and 5. Random integer between two values inclusive. Okay, so rand between 0 comma 5 steps. So 2 is coming now. Now if I once again select and enter, again 2, it may change. Okay, so let's go ahead. Minimum value 20, that is this value minimum, plus maximum value minus minimum value multiplied by step size multiplied by number of steps. Okay, so this is the formula I'm using. Again, something is wrong here. Let me just check this formula and then I'll get back to you. I'll pause the video now. Yeah, so here the correction is this is not required. So the minimum value plus the rand between value and step size. Okay, so this if I do, so here I got 28. Okay, so now one more thing we need to do is introduce dollars. Okay, so just give a dollar before the numericals so that now I can drag the formula to the different rows. So now if I drag it down, so 30, 24, 30, again 30, 28, 26, like this. Again, if I once again drag it, or if I even change one of the value, so it will update like this. Okay, so here now I'm getting between 20 to 30 some random value. Now the same thing I can repeat for all four values. Let's say here, the for the second resistance which is in parallel, minimum is 10, maximum is 20, and the step size is only 1. Okay, so then automatically number of steps will be 10, and here you can see 10, 13, 12, 16, 15, like this some different values are coming. For R3, because it is a series resistance, so let's say minimum is 5, maximum is 10, step size is 1, and number of steps, I will copy this here. So again, here I'm generating between 6 to 5 to 10, I'm generating some random numbers. Similarly, the last fourth resistance, let's say I want the value to be between 30 and 40. So 30, 40, again step size is 1, number of steps will become 10 then. And here the value 34, 35, 40, like this. Okay. So now if I take one row, then it is the set of values. Okay. So here let me see this is number 6, right? So if I go up to 306, I'll get 300 different values. Okay, so again I can decide whatever is the this thing. So let's say up to 306, or is it up to 305? Okay, so anyway, let it be. Yeah, so look like I got four values more, so it should be up to 305 to get 300 numbers. So now I got set of randomly generated data for the replacement into that. Okay. Now what is the next step? I want to just prepare this into another JSON object. Okay. So what is the JSON object I want to create? So for creating into JSON object, again I want to give open bracket here, because each one is a list. A list will be in a square bracket. Okay. So I just copy the square brackets. So these are some of the techniques to create a JSON object using copy paste and things like that. Here I will give a closing bracket. Okay, so I got this closing bracket for all the 300 objects. Now I'll copy these values because we need to do it in a particular format. So I copy these values and then I go to a fresh notepad. Okay, so let's say new notepad, and inside this new notepad I will paste the values. Okay. Now after pasting these values, I will copy the, see this tab I don't want. Okay, so open bracket and see, I'll copy this, Control C and Control H. Here I will replace it with simply open bracket and then say replace all. Okay, so what happened? The first tab is been replaced. So here a tab and a open closing bracket. So this one Control C, Control H. This also I don't want, but more importantly I want a comma after this. Okay, so I just give without tab and closing bracket and comma, replace all. So here I can see this is replaced with a comma. In between tab, I want to replace with simple comma. Okay, so I'll just say simple comma here. And here it is, a tab is selected. So replace all. Like this, it will be created. Now I take all these values and then I go up to, in fact, I'll convert this itself into a parameter file. So how do I convert this into parameter file? So file, save as. Okay, so I'm saving this file. It's very important where we are saving this file. So let's go to the recent folder. So there is a question bank. Remember, I'm going into the question bank, and then I'm saving this as a dcr.json. So the idea is, because this data is pertaining to that question, I will give the same name, but the extension will be JSON. Okay, so dcr.json. Okay, so I'm just saving this as a JSON object, and because it's a JSON object, it will start with opening bracket, and in the last line, it will stop with a closing bracket. Okay. Then what is the key value pairs? So the first one will be parameters. And what are the parameters? It will be a list of parameters. Okay, so what are the parameters I have? So I have the parameters R1, R2, R3, R4. So these were the parameters that were in the question. Okay, so I just uh, give the parameters like this. Now what are the values of these parameters? In values, I will open a list, okay, using a square bracket, and these are the elements in the list. This is the first element, second. So it is a list of list again. Okay, so I'll come to the last one, and then in the last, I don't need this comma because this is the last element, and then I will close the values list, and I don't need another comma because this is the last element, and like this. Okay, so this one is very important. Try to note that. That's it. See, what I have done is created a new object, that is a JSON object with parameters and values. Okay, so now I'll close this. I'll come back to my code. Okay. So here I will call the parameters and I will call the values. Okay. So here I'm selecting the text for the question and I'm writing it. Before selecting the text and writing it, I want to do replacement. Okay. So here I want to load the JSON object. So how do I load the JSON object? So p underscore JSON. So I want to load the parameters. Okay, so here we already have the example code here, how to load a JSON object. Okay, so I'll simply say JSON dot load. Now, what is the JSON I have to load? So the same whatever text file I'm loading, that one. Instead of PEX, I will say JSON. That is the reason we have given the same name. And this dot read is not required because JSON load will do the same work. Okay. So now the parameters are loaded. Okay. So now if we want to check really whether it is loaded, so I'll say print p underscore JSON. So let's check whether the JSON is loading. So I'll disable the LaTeX program processing part. Okay, and then I will take only one paper. Number of papers only one. So I'll execute this. Now you can see squeezed 62 lines. Okay, so here the parameters are loading into the paper. So parameters, I got the 4 parameters and 4 values correspondingly. Now, how do I choose? Like, what are the parameters? So simply, I'll say PAR. Par means parameters list. Okay, so just simply JSON. And what was the key for that? So these are the parameters. Okay. Now vals, pairs and vals. Okay. So simply I'll go for this. Instead of parameters, I will say values. So this is the benefit of using a JSON object. Now I don't want any value. I want a random choice out of these values. Okay, so I'm taking a random choice because I have given close to 300 values. It will randomly choose one of the set of values. So I hope again you are understanding this. Now if I execute this, so I'll simply say print pairs, comma, vals. Parameters and values I want to print. So now if I execute this, so here R1, R2, R3, R4 are the parameters and the values chosen are 20, 10, 5 and 32. This is one of the, see there are several values here. One of the values is randomly selected and we got this particular R1, R2, R3 and R4 values. And this we can feed it into the question. Okay, so how do we feed it into the question? The first one, R1 will be replaced with 20 like that. So let's execute once again just to show you. This time 26, 10, 7 and 35. So different values are coming here. Let's execute once again. So this time again the values are different. Of course, this value may be repeating, but then the other values are different. Again, if I once again execute this, we are getting like this. Now, what is the next job? While writing into the exam paper, we have to introduce these values. Okay, so how to do that? So simply for k comma idx in enumerate as. So this is I will get the item from the parameters. Okay, let's call it p comma idx. P is the item from the parameters. Idx is its index number. It's a variable because I want to replace. Okay, so what I want to do is we have this q text, right? So q text, okay, dot replace. Okay, so after replacing, okay, so we don't have to q text equal to q text dot replace. Now I want to replace the parameter with the value. Okay, so what is the value? Uh, Vals of idx. And since this is in a numerator, this is in a numerical form, I think I have to convert it into string. So str, I have to just convert it into string. Okay. So this for loop will simply replace all the parameters in the q text, and then exam write q text is anyway there. So let's see whether this for loop is executed. So F5. The list indices must be integers or slices, not str. Okay. So maybe this might be the issue. Yeah, now it is working. So since we did not give any print statement, it is coming like this. Now let's simply execute the PDFs and then we'll see whether the parameters are entering into the exam. Okay, so save. Number of question papers, instead of one, let's generate 3 question papers. Let's clean up the folder with all unnecessary files. So select everything. I want question bank, I want sections, and I want run, and I want main. Okay, so remaining all I can delete for the time being. Now let's execute the code. Yes. So the first exam values are chosen. Now the LaTeX file PDF is being created. Second exam, again different values are chosen and the PDF is being created. Third exam, and the different PDF is created. Okay, so let's now go to the folder. See here, I can see 3 PDFs are generated. So first one I'm opening. So here I can see the question is created. By the way, these dashes are not replaced. So I think I have to replace this 2 dashes before and 2 dashes after. Okay, so let's just add that code because I have given like this 2 dashes, so that I have to add. Okay, so 2 dashes plus the parameter like this. Okay, so now it will be more accurate. So let me just close the PDF and delete the old files. Now I'll execute once again. Okay, here I forgot plus. Okay, I hope this video is not becoming too long, but I think we are doing some progress in this. We are actually generating a question with different parameters. Okay, let's look at the file. The first paper, okay, so now it is having a question something like this. Okay, So two resistors 30 ohms and 17 ohms are in parallel. This combination in turn connected in series. Another resistance of 8 ohms. Further, this combination connected with 35 ohms. Find the effective resistance of the above circuit. Good. So now we got these values. Let's check the another paper. So here the DC is the first section, and then 24 and 15. Okay, so 8 and 33. So these values are different. Again, the third paper, the code is here, and then here 24 and 15. Okay, it is repeating, but then 10 and 39 are different. Okay, so like this, we can generate different parameters. Okay. So what is needed then is, if I go to the question bank, for every question, if I open the question bank, I need one file with JSON object, another file with the text file. So these two things are needed to create one question. Now, if I want to add one more question, what I should do? I have to create parameters and I have to create the text file. Then the second question will be created. But anyway, that's it for now. We will pause here, and maybe tomorrow I will add some more this thing. So our objective is to create 8 questions. So we will generate those questions and we'll create. But as of now, one question we have created in our exam. Each question is different, and let's see. Now you may also get a doubt to how about correction, how about solutions, how about solving. So that also we will address eventually. But so far this is our code, and we will keep adding, developing our code further. So please follow through all these videos in sequence, and you can even pause my videos. You can try recreating this thing in your own laptop and in your own thing, so that you have a software, customized software to generate customized exam codes, and this you can use it. So for teachers, definitely it is useful, but even useful for students also to learn this programming and coding. So I hope you are liking these videos. If you are liking, please hit the like button, and please subscribe to my channel for several videos like this on coding and electrical engineering, etc. Thank you so much. We'll see in the next video. I'll add more questions.